can you please help me? I don't know how to do it. Sure, why not? Taking the A4 sheets, Wine told him how to use a Xerox machine since he was new intern and she never denied for help. On the other hand, Taehyung was coming out of his cabin while talking to one of his team members. I want you to check these files and see if there is any problem. Sure, sir. Taehyung nodded when his eyes caught Wine with new intern and she was smiling as if she knew him for a long time. His fists tightened as he took steps towards them. Wine, what are you doing here? Don't you have work? Mr. Kim, I was just... You are my secretary and it's my juice time. I'm sorry. She immediately walked away. You don't even know how simple things work. Who gave you this job, The poor boy looked down when Jimin came to help him. I gave him. Now calm down and get back to work. Jimin patted his business partner's best friend's shoulder and Taehyung went to his office. Don't worry, man. Just keep going, but make sure to avoid Wine. But why, sir? She's your boss's wife, and your boss is kind of possessive for her. I understand, sir. Jimin smiled, patting his shoulder, and sipped his coffee before moving to his cabin. Now you can't hide it anymore, Taehyung, that you are in love with her. Wine was making his fresh juice, and just like a grinder, her teeth were grinding too in anger. This Goldie always scolded me, but these days something is definitely wrong with him. Pouring it inside the glass, she moved to his cabin and gave him the strawberry juice. Are you angry? No, I'm so much happy that I want to dance. Taehyung hid his smile, seeing her frustration because she was definitely looking cute. I just got angry because you forgot my work. Last time I remember, you scolded me for not helping others because I was busy with your work. At that time, she was a girl. Words immediately slipped from his mouth that Wine got shocked. What? Don't forget we have to attend Jin Hyun's party tonight. Do you need anything or any dress? She bit her inner cheek to hide her smile. She understood he was jealous, but his cold attitude won't let him see directly, and it made her hope to touch the sky. Don't worry, I already have everything available. Good. Now get back to work, okay? With that, she walked out of the cabin and got back to her work while his words kept ringing in her mind. Wine and Taehyung got married 6 months ago through a contract. Taehyung needed freedom from his grandfather's non-stop naggings, and Wine needed money for her sister's better education. Taehyung found Wine trustable because he knew her for a long time as his secretary. She was not clingy nor tired to impress him, strictly followed office rules, and was suitable for the contract. But when they started living together, things surely changed between them, and Wine was the first one to realize her feelings, but she was afraid to confess when he was the man who loved freedom. Wine was at the living area and scrolling through Instagram while looking at the stairs. She was waiting for her husband since they had to attend a party, but there was no sign of him. Who he wants to impress. She sighed heavily when she heard the footstep and saw her husband in black outfit. His forehead was exposed, which made him sexier than ever that Wine couldn't able to look away. He always managed to flutter my heart. She blinked her eyes, realizing she looked at him for a long time. Taehyung, we should go. With her voice, Taehyung came back to her senses as he was lost in her natural beauty and adjusted his coat while looking away. Let's go. Both of them get inside the car, and to divert his mind, Taehyung started to scroll his phone. He knew these days he mostly found himself lost in her unknowingly, his heart beating abnormally, and that feeling was satisfying, alluring, calming for his heart. You look gorgeous. Her cheeks radiated into color red. It was not the first time he complimented her, but something was different in his eyes now. Thank you. She slightly slid her hair beside her ear shyly. Reaching the party, the couple was the center of the attraction as after all, Taehyung was a huge name in the business world. Wine enjoyed the party as she had good friendship with his youngs too. Hey beautiful. Lastly, Jimin joined them after coming a bit late. Jimin, you told me you won't make it up. I don't want to miss the beauty in front of me. He sat beside her while the other side Taehyung was sitting. He must have had an unbothered look, but deep inside he was burning. I'm glad you came. I know you must be missing me. The other Hyungs looked at them, but he just sipped the wine silently. Well, Taehyung, how long is your contract with Wine? A year. Only 6 months left then. What will you say to Grandpa Hyung? That I was a jerk and Wine deserved better, so we decided to break our relationship. Everyone laughed but Wine and Taehyung. She never thought about leaving him, and he also didn't want to lose her either. Then Wine will be single and I will try my luck. He winked at her just to trigger his best friend. It was definitely working the way his whole tightened around the glass. I know how to cherish and treat a woman with love, and I'm sure our chemistry will be good. Wine passed him a weak smile but flinched when Taehyung placed the glass on the table roughly. Hyung, let me remind you, Kim Wine is my wife, so be careful with your freaking words. Everyone was shocked, but Jimin smirked as his plan worked and Taehyung held Wine's hand gently. Let's go. But he didn't listen and took her with him while everyone looked at Jimin with glares. Don't look at me like that. Wine's just a good friend of mine and I want her to be happy with Taehyung. Happy you were flirting with his wife and two in front of him. Come on, Hyung. I was just making him jealous and it worked. I'm sure their love story begins tonight. The whole ride was silent, but it was sure for Wine that her feelings were not one-sided anymore. Reaching the mansion, she removed the heels and taking them in her hand, she climbed the stairs. Why are you upset? You shouldn't have dragged me like that. She teased him while smiling, but it faded when Taehyung pinned her against the wall. He was just inches away, arms were caging her, and his figure was towering over her that her breath sucked. Then what did you want? That I let my friend flirt with my wife? Tell me, Mrs. Kim. It was the first time he said Mrs. Kim and it flipped her stomach. No, I was just... She couldn't let out a word, seeing him decreasing the distance between their faces and his emotions were exposed to her. He was burning in jealousy. He was insanely in love with her. I don't give you the permission to think about any guy except me. Possessiveness was evident in his voice, in his rough touch when he brought her closer by his arms. You are the wife of Kim Taehyung for now and for forever. Did you get it? She nodded unknowingly as she drowned in his lovable eyes, which were giving the proof of his love. Use your pretty mouth, Mrs. Kim. His fingers gently brushed over her cheek to her chin and he lifted it. His hot breath directly hit her plump lips. I get it. Words barely came out of her mouth. His dominant presence, his proximity was so intimidating that her thoughts running wild. Now move from here, and his lips touched the side of her lips, causing her to close her eyes. Or here. Next, his lip moved to her neck that her back arched. Yes, his lips moving to her long slender neck to her bare shoulder blade. Do you really love me? He stopped right away and looking back at her, he cupped her face. Before you, I never knew what love means, but after you came into my life, something was definitely different with me. I was unknowingly admiring you for a long time, but when you became my wife, these feelings grew slowly, and I got to know I'm in love with you. He assured her, which was needed at the moment. Unknowingly, you have made space in my heart when I thought no one could, but I was hesitant to express it. You already know what kind of person I am. Her heart melted with happiness. The possibility with him turned 0.1% to 100% out of a sudden that she felt on cloud 9. I hated the idea of getting married and started my family, but being with you, everything has changed. Now I want you as my wife truly, who I love the most. Her eyes moistened. She never thought he was in love with her for a long time because of his cold side. Would you like to be with me for forever and let me show you how much you meant to me? Yes, I want to include you in every phase of my life and walk with you until death apart us. He grabbed her tightly into a bone-crushing hug and she surrounded her arms around him too. I love you, Taehyung. I love you too, my lady. And that was how a contract marriage turned into a loved one.